Hey everyone, welcome back to Loud Mom's Lair. I'm Tara.
And I'm Kristen. We are so excited for this episode. I feel like we say that every time, but I mean, still.
We do. We're always excited, everyone.
Before we kick it off, let's check in.
Mm-hmm.
How have you been? How's your week been?
Guys, I'm still dying with this cold or whatever it is. I feel like it's up to like a respiratory infection of some sort, but no fevers, thank goodness anymore at least. But I'm dying of like random congestion, and I know it's not my allergies flaring up. But other than dying, we're doing just fine. Lives in a Y phase right now that has been really grinding my gears. So
Just hit it.
yeah, as always, we are surviving though. So how are you doing? How was your week?
I'm freaking trying to stay cool. It is so effing hot
Oh my
here.
God.
It is in
What was the temperature today?
I think it's like 95 today.
Gross.
And then the rest of the week is supposed to be the same. And then next week it's in the hundreds.
Oh, we were in the hundreds this week.
Yeah.
And the humidity. Is the humidity bad there?
I mean, yeah, but it's just so freaking dry. Like you literally feel like you're in the desert.
So not humid.
No, not like a lot. No, not like a lot, but it just, I mean, as I'm in a long sleeve shirt, but I'm in my basement and it's cold in here, so.
We're both in like hoodies and long sleeves.
Right.
We keep our house so freaking cold.
I was just gonna say, and Austin literally, if it's not at 67 or 68, he's like dying.
67? Oh, yeah. I would have my weighted blanket on and my parka.
I have blankets literally everywhere in this house. Everywhere. This is why I always have sweatshirts and stuff on. It's terrible. And then you have a bulldog, so you need to keep it cold too. And it's like, Jesus, or else she'll overheat.
Yeah. That's so funny. I know, our dog probably hates us because he's like a big boy and he's just like panting all the time.
Like, it's so hot.
Well, he's in a cone head right now too. He's got like the cone of shame because he had surgery last week. So, but surgery went well, thank God. But he's got to be in the cone a whole nother week until he gets his stitches out.
Yeah.
And
he just hates it.
He just doesn't care. He does not care what he runs into. Oh no, he cares about the cone. He doesn't care about the Tasmanian devil trail that he leaves while he's running throughout the house. And he will take you out at the knees so fast. Like if you're going down the stairs and if he's behind you, like you have to watch your back because he will barrel through and take you out with him.
He has a big dog too, so yeah.
Big boy. He's losing weight though, so we're very excited and proud of him. He's finally under 100 pounds. He was like 125, and he's slimming down.
Aw, good for him.
Yes,
well,
yes.
Well, let's get to our cheers to all the fails we've endured so far. And to all the fails that have yet to come. We know they will.
Yep. And we'll explain why we're cheering to that.
So hold up your drinks and cheers.
Cheers. All right, guys. So today we are going to discuss throughout this entire episode. We're going to have it full of all of the parent fails and kind of like the dramatic, funny moments that we've been throughout this parenting journey.
We figured this would be a good time to insert an episode like this. We've had a lot of heavy topics lately. So here is our chance to make things a little lighter. We want you to buckle up with us and get excited.
Heck yeah. And it's not gonna be super formatted. So we're just gonna kind of ping pong different stories that we've been to. And if you can relate to any of our stories, please leave us a comment or shoot us a message and everything so we know we're not alone. I don't think we are, but
no.
All right. So I'm going to kick us off and I am going to, I have my phone because I have all the stories saved in and I would never remember these, like just rambling them off. All right. We are going to kick this off with a little one. So or a little quick refresh. So I already talked about the story when my mom came to visit when Liv was a newborn, and I was still on maternity leave, and I was giving her a bath one night, and it was one of my first baths that I was giving her. And I was like so petrified of all of the things that could go wrong, and obviously the postpartum hormones and anxiety or whatever you want to call it were just ravenous at that time. And so I was Liv was crying through the entire thing, which was just making the situation that much more stressful. And when you're not used to a baby crying all the time, like it's just a lot of anxiety. And I just hear my mom snickering outside the door, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I'm doing something wrong. And then I finished the bath, and I was so upset and overwhelmed that my mom was laughing at me because I took it personally, and I took it as I'm doing everything wrong, when really she was just laughing because she's been there before. And she was more just like relating versus like laughing at me. She was laughing with me. But my hormones were psycho, and I was like, she's totally laughing at me. What a whinge.
Yeah. Well, hey, I give you props for actually like giving him her first bath, because my mom was out and I was so scared to give Braxton his first bath. So I made her do it. I stood there and like watched and was like, oh, okay, like trying to like help. But I was like, no, this kid's too delicate right now. You got just do it for me.
God. So the actual first bath that we did at home, we actually did in the kitchen sink, which I know there's lots of pros and cons to do it in the sink.
Oh, I did too, yeah.
Yeah. And like the postpartum hot mess that you are as a mom, like I was, and you don't want to wear clothes, and because everything's uncomfortable, you still are dealing with the belly like retreating back to its state that it wants to retreat to. Then like the boobs, the milk just came in, so they're like hard as rock and leaking everywhere, and you're trying to figure out how to manage all of that crap. We gave her her first bath in the sink, and we have so many like pictures from that moment. I wish we didn't have those pictures because I was wearing like, I'm so bad. I was wearing like my breastfeed or my nursing bra that was like stained to shit because there's like leakage everywhere. And then I was wearing like a waist trainer type thing that was like trying to suck my stomach back in. But as like the back of me, like the bra and the waist trainer have a gap in between, and my roll is just like popping out of it. Like my tattoo is just like trying to poke his head out. And then I'm in like basketball shorts of mats. And like, I don't want to remember that moment.
You gotta feel comfortable. You got that big ass like diaper pad and shit.
Oh my gosh. Postpartum care is no joke. Yeah. Diapers. I rocked those lacy Depends.
Hell yeah.
After the gauze underwear. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure why we put ourselves through this, but you know.
I know. God. Darn kids.
But here we are.
Yes.
Wouldn't be here today.
Okay, so my next story, because I have a ton, because there were a lot of fails. This is like the OG story, and I started kind of hinting to Chrissy like what I was gonna talk about regarding this, but I don't think I've ever told you the full story on this situation. Maybe I did, I don't know, but you're gonna hear it again. So people who haven't heard the story, this is like the pinnacle. The pinnacle is like the peak, right? This is the peak of my postpartum hormones and mood swings and just emotions going haywire. So we were at daycare, and Liv was 3 months old. So I just went back to work, and we're in the August, September, October, November. Yeah. So November-ish, December-ish time frame.
Winter-ish.
Winter. Keyword. Don't forget that. All right. So she went to school or went to daycare. She's still, obviously an infant, in a like winter jacket, right? And it was like a white winter jacket, whatever. The color doesn't matter, but it does in my head. And so she had a checkup that morning, her 3-month check or whatnot, or whatever month check. She had a checkup that morning, and I took her to the appointment, or we both went, and I then took her to daycare after. She had the jacket on in the morning when we went to the checkup appointment. I took her to daycare. I dropped her off. I picked her up from daycare post-work. And I was like, yes, she's got the white jacket. So like the teacher hands me my baby, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. See you. It's blizzarding outside, by the way. It is now negative 10 degrees. Snow's coming down sideways. And like, I'm cold. I'm in uniform and a big jacket. And here's my baby. And they had to change her because babies get changed 18 times a day because they spit up everywhere or blowouts, whatever it might be. She was in a short sleeve shirt. And I'm like, okay, perfect. She's got a jacket. Yeah. We're good. And I look at the teacher and I was like, hey, like, do you know where her jacket is? Let me remind you, like, this is like still COVID-ish time frame. Yeah. And so we aren't allowed like in the classrooms. We are barely allowed to like talk to the teachers. We have to stay in the lobby. But like, because she was still considered like a newborn-ish, we had a little more interaction with the teachers, but like they didn't know me. I didn't know them. So trust was not built yet. Yeah. And I was like, hey, like, where's her white jacket? And I'm looking at one of the ladies, very nice lady, but she's like, oh, yes, I know. Yeah, she did have the jacket. I was like, okay. Yeah, she had the jacket. Yeah. Where is it? They're like, we can't find it. I was like, well, you need to find it. And they're like, no, it's like not in her cubby. I was like, is it in another kid's cubby? Like, where did the jacket go? And now, mind you, they can only drop one kid off at a time or like talk to one parent at a time. I have like 4 parents behind me waiting for their kids. Okay. Like the line is going out the double door and it's blizzarding out. So, but I don't care because I need my baby's jacket. And I look at the teacher and she's like, no, she had it on. I was like, I knew she did. Like, you need to find the jacket. I was like, I'm so psycho. I was like, I'm not leaving until I get the jacket. So I'm holding baby and I'm waiting for jacket and there's no jacket. Like, it's just, and so I had the audacity to say, oh, I don't have time to wait for you guys to find this jacket. I'm just leaving. So no, it gets worse. So I put baby Olivia in like under my coat, you know, to block her from the frigid air outside because hence the short sleeve shirt, you know, and I put her in the car and I'm fuming. I'm stressed. I'm shaking with rage because, you know, hormones and whatnot. And I was just angry. I pulled out of the daycare parking lot and I just caused a scene, right? Like all the parents saw me. It is what it is. I leave the daycare parking lot and I shit you not, maybe not 2 minutes later, I look down into my passenger like foot area and I see the white jacket. And I was like, shit. And I was like instant guilt, like I was so.
Do I go back and apologize?
So I call Matt back immediately. I was like, I found the jacket. What do I do? Like, I just yelled at everyone in there. Like, what do I do? And I told the teachers I would ask again in the morning if they found it. We leave. He's like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. I'm sure they've dealt with this before. Like, it's a crappy situation and you were probably in the wrong, but like, just go home. What did I do? I called the daycare. God. And I asked to speak with the teacher and I just profusely apologized. And I was like, I am so sorry. Like, I was convinced it was there. You agreed with me that it was there. So that just backed it up. And I was like, I'm sorry. But that was the moment where I realized I'm a psycho postpartum. And that's why I'm stopping with 1 kid. So, because of the damn white jacket.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't think I've ever had really any of those stories. I don't think I've caused a scene.
Well, let me put a cherry on top with this whole situation. So fast forward a couple years, and this just happened like a few weeks ago.
Oh my God.
She's at the new daycare, and I was convinced we had a blanket at the daycare, and we've gotten like wrong clothes back. Clothes have been missing. Like she's been sent home with the wrong stuffed animal. Like it's so tiny, right? It's not that big of a deal. But at the same time, what if it was a big deal for the other family? You know, like fortunately it's not a big deal for us, but what if it was for someone else? And so I was like, where's our blanket?
Oh
This
God.
isn't her blanket. Like, it was a flower one, like, can you please look for it? We looked in all the cubbies. I was like, okay, like, if you find it, we'll be here tomorrow, obviously, and
Yeah.
we'll just ask again. But like, can you just please? It's one of our favorite ones. I pull out of daycare and I look in my passenger foot area, and here's a freaking flower blanket.
Oh my God.
And I call Matt, of course, because it's like a rinse and repeat. I call him. I was like, I found the blanket. And I was like, what do I do? I did not call daycare because I did not cause a huge scene, but
Yeah.
it was like PTSD was real in that moment. It was real.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Oh, goodness.
Well, if we're keeping it with kind of like postpartum and their younger years,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say this is really, I don't really know what it is. It's more of a freaking out moment on my
I love
end.
it. I love it.
Okay, so obviously they have umbilical cords still. And and on top of it, I have a boy and we got him circumcised.
Mm-hmm.
So
Was that tough? Was that tough to like take care of?
it really wasn't a whole lot. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. I'm sure like back in the day it was different, but the way they do it now, or they did to him, it really wasn't anything. They really didn't tell us. They were like, you don't really have to put like anything on it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But so I was so creeped out by the umbilical cord. So creeped out. I thought it was so gross.
They're gross. They're gross.
And then on top of it, this boy
bloody penis.
this little like top hat looking thing. And I literally thought his thingy was gonna fall off all the time, just the way it looked. It was like the way they did it was like a cap or something he had on, so the cap part would fall off. I don't know. It was freaking weird.
They put a cap on the tip?
No, that's what it kind of like looked like.
Oh,
I don't. It was weird. But every time I was changing his diaper, I was like, "Oh my God, your penis is gonna fall off! Like, what is wrong with it?" It was so scary.
Oh my God, when he grows up, we'll have to let him listen to this story.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think if I don't have a boy again, I might be okay. So I don't have to deal.
Yeah, in that sense, girls are a lot easier. Like the umbilical cord is, that just comes with the territory,
right.
but
It's still gross. But
yeah.
Add the other thing on top of it, and it's like, oh my God. So, to say the least, if anybody's not freaked out about that, then God bless you.
Well, the umbilical cord is gross and it shrivels up. It gets dry and crusty, and then it randomly just like crumbles off. Not crumbles, but like breaks off.
And like, where the hell does it go? If it's not like in their onesie or something, could it be like in their bed or
in the bed?
Where the hell?
That's so nasty. That's so nasty.
Braxton was in his onesie, so it's fine. It wasn't a big deal or whatever, but
Liv's came off in a diaper change, because her diapers, you roll over the diapers to not impede on the umbilical cord, healing.
I don't know, whatever.
I just remember it like fell off during a diaper change, and I was like, Matt, look at this, look at this.
So gross.
Yeah, absolutely is disgusting.
Okay, so I have one that actually has been kind of resolved, but not resolved today.
Okay.
Braxton has been having these on and off fevers for like a month. And I know everyone has, heard how sick he is all the time.
Yeah.
So it's been on and off for like a month. So finally.
Sorry, for listeners, like how long would these fevers last?
They'd probably be like 2 days. So like 48 hours.
Okay. Long enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes they weren't really bad. But this past time, so this past week and a half, they were getting pretty high. They were like 103 to 104.
Oh, that's scary too.
Yeah, and he's never had really high ones like that. So finally, I took him to the doctor about like a week and a half ago, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, at that time, he wasn't having a fever episode.
Of course. Of course. Why would they be sick when the appointment hits?
So, and then they, checked him out and looked in his ears, and they were like, oh no, he looks okay. Well, prior to that, we took him to the hospital because he was up all night complaining that his ear was killing him, and he had a little minor ear infection. Okay, so they gave him antibiotics, blah, blah, blah. We finished all those. So nothing was wrong at this last doctor's appointment with him. So this past week, it happened Sunday early morning. He started getting really like high fever, and he was complaining his ear was hurting and all that. But we were like, okay, you just read the doctor though. Like, you don't have an ear infection. They just told us this. And we even got one of those things like that doctors have that you can look in his ear. Oh. Not that I freaking know what I'm looking at or for, but
I mean, I'm sure you'd be able to see like red bulging eardrum, And
I even looked and I was like, I don't see anything. So I'm starting to like really kind of be like, what the hell is going on? I'm starting to freak out a little. Like, okay, we need to take him to the hospital. He's going to need to get blood tests. And then you start Googling shit, which
Google is the death
I love
of you.
But Jesus, I'm like, oh my God.
He has 4 different types of cancer.
Yeah, this could. So just what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
So then, I don't even know when it was. The other day, I'm looking at, so I had to pick him up on Monday early. Oh, this is when it was. Monday early from school because he had a fever. So I picked him up and I was talking to his teachers and they were like, do you think he is like teething? And I was like, not that I know of. I've never, like, it doesn't seem like it. Every time I look at his mouth, well, to me, I look at his mouth and I see teeth. I forget that they have teeth like molars in the back. So we get home and I'm like, Braxton, I gotta look in your mouth, bud. Like, let me just see. Can you open up and blah, blah, blah. Well, he does. He has a little tooth popping up in the back bottom. So I'm thinking, this has got to be it, right?
So we went from fevers on and off, and then we went to doctor. They said no ear infection. Yeah. And so we went to Google, and then we had four types of cancer. Yeah. And then we looked in his mouth after teacher recommended teething. Yeah. Found a tooth. So then we thought teething was the reason.
Yeah. So I had already had an appointment for today scheduled with his doctor because I called her on Monday or Tuesday and said his fever's back. Mm-hmm. So we kept the appointment because she's like, all right, well, let's run some tests. Let's do like a strep test, a COVID test, blah, blah, blah. Well, to me, I was like, he's not having any symptoms of any of that, like any type of cold. Mm-hmm. And you looked in his mouth before too, and there was nothing. Like, so I'm like, all right, whatever. I guess if we have to do tests, then let's figure it out. But to me, just silly. So anyway, today comes, which is Thursday, the 13th.
Yeah.
And his appointment. And I'm sitting there at the doctor's office in the waiting room with him. And I'm just thinking to myself, maybe I should have canceled because he hasn't had a fever in a couple days. And to me,
and now it's just teething.
Yeah. And I that's what I'm thinking. And I actually did, email his doctor before and say, I found a tooth, yada, yada, yada. And of course the doctor came back and said, well, fevers don't interact like that with teething, blah, blah, blah.
So now we're back to cancer.
So anyway, so we get to the doctor's today and I'm like, I'm sorry for wasting your time. I don't, I think it's just probably his tooth. His ear probably hurts because the tooth is throbbing, blah, blah, blah. Well, turns out he has an ear infection.
Oh, God. That's the worst, too. Yeah. And it's like, and you feel so helpless with them.
I know.
Well, especially when they're like
complaining about his ear in a couple days either. So,
yeah.
So I think from a week and a half ago when we went to when we took him to the hospital, maybe it's semi-healed to a little more healed to not healed.
God. But so is he on antibiotics now?
Yeah, he's on a little bit stronger ones for more days rather than. But I was so back and forth, like, okay, I feel like an idiot if it's literally just teething, even though I
Right.
shouldn't, because I'm
No?
making sure my
No?
child is okay.
Because you're
And then
advocating
I
for your kid.
and then I felt like a damn fool today at the doctor's office. Like, there's nothing wrong with my kid. He doesn't have a fever. He doesn't have any symptoms. Well, sorry, bud. Thank God we kept your appointment because.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, and you know when something's wrong with your kid and when something's not right, like you get that gut feeling and you
Yeah.
just know. So,
Yeah.
no, you
And
did the right thing.
having like, he was so, I know a lot of people are miserable with fevers, but oh my God, I've never seen somebody so miserable. I think
Yeah.
did I send you that picture where he was just laying on me the one
Yeah,
day,
you did. Oh,
and
wait,
he's
I
just so
showed
miserable.
no, so I showed Liv that picture because I was like, maybe Braxton's awake. Maybe we can like just
Yeah.
say hi to him. She's like, yeah. She came and like jumped in my lap, and then we got that picture, and I showed her. She was more like, let me see. And
Yeah.
so I showed her the picture. She's like, what's wrong with Braxton? And I
Oh,
was like,
so
just,
sweet.
you're not a
Yeah,
sociopath. Yeah, but no, she was like very concerned about B.
aw, so
But
sweet.
is he on the up and up now?
Yeah, oh God, he's been fine.
Acting
He,
normal.
yeah, the past
Okay.
couple days, he's a nutbag, so
And now
whatever.
Muggy's there to hang out
Yep,
with him.
yeah, and
Muggy's grandma,
everything,
everyone.
yes, is my mom. And everything now, so I get a little break when somebody new comes in town
Which
because
is
everything
wonderful.
is like, Maggie, come to my room. I gotta show you something. Watch how cool this is. And he does like dance moves for her. I don't know. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's like, look at me. And it's like a
Yeah.
random pose.
Yeah. Come in my room with me. Let's do this. Let's go here. And of course, my mom, she barely can walk sometimes.
Both of our moms limping along. We love you guys, but
Oh my God. So yeah.
love it. I love it. And I'm so happy he's feeling better.
Yes, thank you. Me too. I'm glad it's maybe just an ear infection. Let's hope
Yeah.
it gets figured out.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go into one of our pride and joy stories. So we were at the zoo, and like the zoo is a regular occurrence for our family. Like we go
Yeah.
quite often. And she was probably like a year and a half, 2 years old, 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. But like a fresh two. And so she was in like the
Fresh too.
a fresh two.
Okay.
Yeah. She was in like our jogger stroller, and we were just pushing and chatting, and she was sitting up normally, and we're like making our exit. So we're like trying to go towards the exit and whatnot. And like parents, we keep passing other couples, and they're like smiling and kind of like pointing a little. And we're like, we know we have a cute kid. Like, thanks, hey. And we go to turn, like take a corner, and we look and we just see like feet hanging, and we're like, but not pointing the right direction. And we're like, wait. And so we stop the stroller. This girl is hanging on for dear life because she's hanging. She's hanging out of the stroller like this. Like we have no idea how long she's been like that.
Probably at the beginning of the exit where people were staring at you.
But you would think the other parents would be like, oh, hey, like, nope. Everyone was just waving and like kind of pointing and smiling. Oh my God. We turn around and she's like in a sun hat and everything, like panic on her.
And she probably was so scared to even say anything.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, it was one of the biggest fails we had. gonna do? We're just living our best life.
That's fine. Whatever.
She survived, okay? We're surviving, not thriving over here.
Maybe the parents thought she was doing it on purpose.
She probably was. She was probably trying to escape.
Lord help me, get me out of this.
Oh my God. Yeah, she gives us a run for our money.
Oh yeah, that's so funny. Okay, so I know we all have climbing stories.
Oh my God, yeah.
I remember the first time, oh God, I don't even remember how old Braxton was. It had to have been like maybe a little bit after he was walking.
Yeah.
So like 11, let's say he was
he was a climber young.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember you telling me stories. I'm like, God, Liv's barely standing right now.
Oh yeah, no, he climbs on
4 months behind.
I'll have to find pictures and post some of when he was like, you can tell he's like a little, and he's just freaking climbing on like that, like what are those like cozy coupe cars or whatever, and
yeah.
God, yeah. So it was like shortly after he started walking, and his changing table is, I wouldn't say it's really like a dresser, but Austin and my dad made it, so it's like a kind of like a wooden dresser, and it's just got like holes and stuff. Well, and then obviously the changing table's on top. We figured out that if you push the baskets that are in there like towards the wall, oh, this is a great spot to climb.
Ladder.
Yeah. So you like look away, you're in his room with him, but you like, let's say I'm like putting away clothes or something. Yeah. Next thing you know, he's freaking up on the changing table, just like standing there, sitting. It's like,
you can't trust him.
No. And then they stand up and they're like, oh, I'm like, how are you going to get down then? And then they just jump. It's like, what? Wait.
Yes. Like they do not think about repercussions or the fallout, the worst case scenarios. They are just full send. And they just YOLO the shit off of high things.
It's like, I know you got carpet and it's not a big drop, but oh my God, you can't even barely like stand, like, because you just started walking.
So. Yup. Oh my God. Why do kids do that?
I don't know, because they're fearless. They don't have any fears at all. It doesn't matter.
Which I guess is a good thing to a point.
Right. And even if they do get hurt from it, they go right back to it. So yeah, I mean.
Oh my God.
Right now it's a good thing. Let them be kids,
Yeah. We had, so kind of climbing, kind of just like the fearless part. We were at our neighbor's house, a week and a half ago or so. And she adores their daughter. Like their daughter just turned 8 years old. They're best friend. Well, Liv just idolizes her, and she's so good with Liv too. So, and we're learning. We as Matt and I, parents, are learning like, okay, what do we need to help with, and what can said 8-year-old like do without us, as long as she's okay with that, right?
Right.
And so their daughter got off the retaining wall. There's like a 3 to 4 foot retaining wall in their backyard. So she got off, and she was like heading to the trampoline, but then she was like, all right, Liv, like, here, come on down, thinking Liv would just like reach down gently and slowly. Liv thought that was the perfect opportunity to full send jump off. And then the 8-year-old was like, no, pushed her midair because she panicked. And then Liv fell to the ground. Like, all of us poor parents are just in like our little picnic chairs, and we're like, oh! like, fortunately, Liv recovered quite well, and like we told her friend, we're like, it's not your fault at all.
Right.
That was all her
crazy
fault.
Girl over here.
And it was just, it happened in such slow motion. Like Liv jumped, 8-year-old pushed, Liv fell. All of us were like, ooh. Yeah, it was so bad. And then obviously everything was fine. But that like goes into, Liv does trust falls. Does B do trust falls?
No.
Like,
I guess not. No, not like too crazy.
Like fall backwards and doesn't look
he used
if anyone's
to.
behind.
He used to off of
4
the
months
slide.
Ago?
Remember? No, this
I'll
was
never
when
leave
he
that.
was younger.
Oh,
Of
shit.
course. You know those like little plastic slides that you can keep in your house?
Mm-hmm.
He used
We
to
got
do
one.
it off of there. He used to slide backwards and just like fall. It's like, you gotta wait until someone's right there. You're gonna crack your head open.
Oh my God. So Liv will just like, she'll be standing on a random stair, footstool, chair, whatever thing of height that she can find and climb.
Yeah.
And she'll just look at you and go, and fall back. And you have to be like cat-like reflexes, because if you're not behind her, you have to reach for her. And she does it all the time. And she started doing this thing where she'll stand on the armrest of our couch and throw herself backwards and just land on her back. And I have videos of it, so we'll upload it. But like, it is, I don't understand. She thinks it's the funniest thing ever. And so there were a couple times where she would like arch her head back. We're like, no, like, don't do that. And so we finally taught her, like, if you're going to do that, you got to keep your head straight and like your back straight. And so she's shockingly doing that. But yeah, trust
gymnastics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Maybe she wants to be like WWE fighter or something.
Listen, Brian did that as a kid. I mean, he had those stuffed animals for WWE, or just not stuffed animals, but stuffed wrestlers.
The guys, the stuffed like
the little flat pillow thingies.
So, oh hell yeah!
I was talking to your parents about that.
They probably still have them in their house.
Probably they had Beanie Bears that Liv got to play with.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Liv's like, can I take these home? I'm like, no, no, you cannot.
Not enough toys. Speaking of toys, this isn't part of any of it, but it's funny. The other day so last episode I talked about the green, yellow, red light. And so I always say, all right, listen, how about when we're going to take away a privilege of yours, look at all these toys over here on this ground. How about we go give them to another little boy or girl who needs them or wants them? And, no. I said, you need all these toys? I said, yeah. I said, why do you need all of these toys? You have so many. I need them to play with. All of them? What's wrong?
The one you haven't touched in 6 months?
Exactly. And then if I put it in a bag, he's getting it out like, ooh, I want to play with this.
Every time. Every time. We were just doing that with Liv's toys the other day, because I was like, she has so much garbage. And I don't mean garbage, but like toys she does not play with. And it's just clutter at this point. And you know how much I love clutter. So I was going through this toy bin. I'm like, we haven't seen this in years, It's like, we still have like this chew toy that for a baby.
Right.
How do you tell if someone's a dog parent without saying they're a dog parent? We got this chew toy for my baby.
Braxton thinks some of Penny's toys are like his, so we'll put him in his bin rather than her bin. I'm like, whatever. Like, he's got bones in his bin. She's got, this stuffed animal. Whatever. Okay.
Hey, let them live their best lives, all right? Yeah. No, but so I was setting like a pile aside for Liv, or to donate, right? Yeah. I'm like, hey, you don't play with this. Like, she's like, oh, mine. And she's like, oh, no, I need that. Like, oh, I love that toy. And I'm like, girl, come on. Yes. Like, yeah, the favorite is real right now.
Oh my God.
Oh, this thing is your favorite that's been broken for 6 months, and I should have thrown it away the first time I saw it was broken. Yeah. So I chucked it back into your toy bin because I was too lazy.
Exactly. Just like, whatever. I don't feel like taking these anywhere right now.
God. Okay. Does B ever do like make-believe cooking or prepping like coffees or whatever?
Oh, all the time. His are like, this kid's a very big sweet person, and he loves, so his is always cupcakes or cakes.
Oh.
But yes, he does all the time. Their imaginations are literally the best. I love it.
It's awesome. It is so, who's really good at the imaginations? Matt. Matt is like, he gets the gold prize for imagination, and he like comes up with a lot of the scenarios. Yeah. And I'm like, how did you even think about? I feel like I'm failing in the imagination realm, but it's fine. Like, everyone has their weakness, and that's mine.
Yeah. Okay, good.
She does. She likes to make us coffee. And
Oh, well, we all know you guys love coffee, so perfect.
It's a problem. It's a problem when you're
She's gonna be 10 years old drinking coffee.
No, I shit you not. Like, so she was like, Mom, I have coffee when I'm older. I'm like, well, you can if you want, but you have to wait till you're older. She's like, yeah, I'll get coffee when I'm older. I'm like, oh God, it's starting. But yeah, so she'll make us coffee in her play kitchen and whatnot. But the fail or the funny moment that comes out of that, we'll look away for 2 seconds, like kind of like your climbing story. Everything happens when you turn away, right? Yeah. We'll turn away and then we'll look back and she's walking. Like she doesn't do it anymore, or we trust her more now because she's older. But when she was younger, she would be walking with like a glass cup or a ceramic mug of coffee and start walking. And they're not sturdy on their feet at a younger age. You know, they're still figuring out their balance. And then they're carrying this warm cup of coffee. Fortunately, it wasn't hot. And she's like, here, Mom, I brought this. And I'm like, oh God, like, don't drop it.
Don't get it on my carpet.
Yes, and you like don't want to scare them because then they will drop it.
Right,
so you're like, oh, thank you. And you're like panicking as you're running towards them.
Like, hurry. And then they're like trying to run.
Yeah. You don't want to speed up a toddler at all.
No. God. That's so funny you bring up like the drinks and pretending. He loves to pretend. He has a kitchen downstairs and he's always pretending everything. He will go in my cupboards in the kitchen and get out like my mixing pots. And his favorite thing to get is open the drawer and get out my measuring cups. Or he'll get out like a spatula. And he loves to do all that stuff. So he'll just, take it in the living room or in his bedroom and just pretend to cook. I shit you not, the other day I'm looking through his drawers. There's a spatula in there. There's a measuring cup in his tent. There's my mixing bowl I've been looking for 2 weeks. So yesterday, it's hot out, but we were cooking outside. He was playing out on the deck.
Cooking or actually cooking?
No,
he
real cooking.
Actually, okay.
Like
adult cooking.
Really cooking, yes.
Okay.
And he comes inside for a little bit with me while I'm getting stuff ready. And he sees in the dining room a box of beer that's open. And he grabs a can. He's like, oh, this is like Dad's. And I was like, yeah, it is. You can go give him one if you want. It's fine. So he's like, well, I'm going to drink it. And I was like, okay. But I'm going to pretend. I'm going to pretend drink it.
I pretend.
So he goes out, sits on his little table that's out there right by Austin and puts it down and picks it up and goes to Austin and goes, cheers, and like pretends. I was like, oh my God.
Oh God. Austin, stop drinking in front of your kid.
Yeah. Some people might be like, yo, why are you giving your kid,
Oh, at least he's pretending.
Yeah. He didn't open it or anything. I was waiting for him to knock it off or shake it, but.
That's funny. No, actually, it happened tonight. I had a White Claw open upstairs, and Liv loves bubble water. Loves bubble water. And so we have like Bubblies or LaCroix or whatever brand you choose. And but she saw my White Claw upstairs. She's like, oh, I'm thirsty. I want some water. And she goes to grab it. I was like, nope.
Yeah. Yep. Every time
Braxton
sees wine, oh, I want some of that juice. I'm like, no, you can't. This is not your kind of juice, though. I was like, I need this to relax. So
I need this after the day you gave me.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So we had recently when we returned from our trip. So last week I was telling everyone, we came back from the celebration of life or whatnot. Obviously Liv had an eventful travel day where she did not nap. And so she fell asleep in the car on the way home, which was wonderful. And we're like, we need a full nap out of her. She's probably exhausted. So like, can we transfer her from the car seat to her bed? And like every parent knows that's a like rough waters area. Like it's either going to fail or it's going to be very successful. And we're like, oh God, please give us sleep. Please give us sleep. Yeah. So we didn't think twice about like what she was wearing or anything. And so Matt transferred her into her crib and she slept for like 2.5 hours. It was glorious.
Yeah.
We wake up, the entire bed's wet because we forgot to put her in like a pull-up during her nap, because she's still in pull-ups during her nap and sleep, just because like she sleeps through when she pees. We're getting there, but we're not fully there yet. And so yeah, fully wet, and like we haven't slept yet because we're like unpacking and stuff. And so so we had to throw in the load of laundry. She's confused what happened. I'm like, I'm so sorry. But it is what it is, you know?
Oh, yeah. I've had, a couple of those, previously where you kind of just like, okay, they're sleeping. Wherever they fall asleep, let's just transport them. And you don't think about it. And I keep saying we have had him, let's say, fall asleep in the car. Well, we put him on the couch and he's still sleeping, and we try and get him, let's say, like in a pull-up or something.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Wakes him up.
That, or he is like turning so you can't do it. And but yes. And then just you wake up and there's pee everywhere. Or he will wake up and be like, I'm cold, or I'm something, and you're like, oh no.
Right.
Oh
God. It's the worst when they wake up too. And we ran into that the other day, and so obviously, so Liv's got a big girl bed now, and like she's not in a crib anymore. Yay. But now she can get out of the bed and she can explore. And fortunately, she hasn't really like gone crazy with that, which we're a little surprised with. But and well, every so often we'll just see the door. So like we have a theater area upstairs now and in our bonus room, which Liv is upstairs too. So when we're just like watching a movie at the end of the night, just unwinding, we can see if she comes out and whatnot. And like, we'll just see her door crack and she'll just like peek out. And then she'll like walk slowly to the bathroom and she'll be like, I have to pee.
That's good.
Yeah. But then she'll go back in and then she'll come back out again. She's like, I'm thirsty. And it's like one thing after another. Guys, let me remind you, there is a full water bottle in her room available at all times, but she just like, she wanted to leave the room, right?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Braxton. Yeah. Braxton doesn't leave the room. If he has to go pee, he goes, I have to pee! So, like we can hear him.
Yeah.
Like, all right, fine. So I've mentioned this before where he, in the middle of the night, sometimes will have really bad dreams. Austin used to have like nightmares, and I think Braxton has them. So he's been getting them again. So, and like I've said before, Braxton thinks his bed is also, or my bed is
your
also
bed.
At sometimes. So
is that still a thing?
Oh yeah, sometimes it is for sure.
No.
Just did it the other day when my mom was here. We were like, all right, you ready for bed? And my mom was like, oh, you're going to go to bed? Okay, I'll see you. And he goes, I'm going to go to mom and dad's bed. Like, what? So it was so funny the other night. I have normally the monitor on my side because I can hear things better than Austin can. Unless I'm like so exhausted and I am in a dead sleep. So I always can hear when he opens his door. And and then he opens our door, and all you see is just like his head bobbing at the foot of our bed.
It's like a cartoon, like a scene of a cartoon.
Over to one of us. Dad. And he just like climbs up there because he's had a bad dream.
Oh, I love that he's like comfortable coming to you guys, though.
Yeah, he always has to open our door.
Liv had a bad dream the other day, and God, right? Oh, so as she was going to bed, she likes to ask a million questions, right? And as she's settling in, and she asked, like, I think it was my turn to put her down that night, and she was asking me, she's like, okay, are you going to sleep on the couch? It might have been Matt, whatever. She's like, are you going to sleep on the couch? We're like, yeah. And we just said that because we are upstairs. And if she sees us upstairs, like, she's going to wonder, are you guys watching a movie? Like, is it movie time? And so we just told her we were going to sleep on the couch. It backfired because fast forward to like 11:15. We think she had a nightmare because she woke up screaming. And we were in bed at this point. So we already transitioned downstairs. We hear the scream, and we both woke up because it was a loud scream. And we hear her pitter-patter feet sprint over to the direction of the couch.
Oh, yeah.
And I think she was like looking for us. Yeah. And then she screamed again, pitter-patter back to the stairs. Well, Mom, Dad! And I felt so bad. I was like, oh my God, she went over there because we told her we were sleeping on the couch. And I was like, well, we'll never do that again.
Oh my God, some stuff that you think is going to work just completely backfires on you. I did that this morning. Rexton's kind of been in a little funk where he'll do fine to actually go to school, but he doesn't want me to leave or Austin to leave. Yeah. So this morning I told him, or no, sorry, it was yesterday morning because he actually did a full day yesterday. And I said, okay, we're going to go to school. If you do good at school, we're going to go to the store afterwards. And maybe you can pick out like Pez. He loves Pez candy. He's got like 50 different Pez dispensers. Okay. He loves Pez candy.
Probably cheaper than the $30 toys Lib gets every time.
Yeah. So, I am sorry about that. So I was like, okay, and he's like, oh, cool, let's go to the store. I was like, no, after school, and I have work. So after I'm done with work, after I pick you up from school. No, we're going to the store. We're going to the store. He gets his shoes on and everything. He runs to the door. No, I want to go to the store. And so he throws a fit because we're not really going to the store. Of course. So backfire. I'm like, oh, that one backfired hardcore on me.
Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, there's so many moments that do backfire. There's so many moments. And they hold you accountable. They will.
100%.
And they remember everything. Everything. Everything.
Insane. Everything.
You tell them a story 5 days before and they will remember it till they die.
Yeah.
At 99 years old.
One day we took Braxton to school and he had a popsicle in the morning. And I said, okay, well, we don't have enough for everybody. So you have to give it to me when you go inside. So he gave it to me and I said, it will be here when you get off. He remembered it, and I did not have it in the car. He did not speak to me the entire way home. He was so mad about it.
Angry.
Yeah. Like, wow.
God. We came home, kind of an angry story. We came home from school, was it yesterday? And it was like over 100 degrees outside and humid. It was so thick and just like gross.
Yeah.
We parked in the garage and it was just Liv and I, and she was already in a sassy mood. I don't know. She didn't nap that day, whatever.
Yeah.
And I like get her blankie, throw that over my shoulder. I get her school backpack. I get her stuffy that she gets to nap with at daycare, which just became a thing at daycare. And then all her artwork. She came home with like 6 pieces of artwork. And I'm like, hey, I'm holding all the shit, right? It's a lot. Right. And then she looks at me. She's like, I want up. And I'm like, I can't lift you right now. I cannot lift you right now. I was like, do you see my hands? Yeah. And I'm also carrying my stuff. And I was like, hey, I will pick you up and I will love on you and hug you and everything once we get inside. I just got to set this down. Mind you, I'm sweating at this point. I have this wool freaking blanket hanging over my shoulder in 100+ degree weather. And so I was like, Olivia, we need to go inside. We need to go inside. She's like, no. And she looks at this like box that had some decorations in it from our move that we haven't put up in the attic yet because whatever, don't judge us. And so there's this freaking nutcracker Christmas decoration guy. And she's like, ooh, what's this? I was like, we don't have time. Like I became so irritable because I was so uncomfortable and so hot. And I was like, Olivia. And she starts like picking stuff out of this box. I was like, put it back. I was like, I'm going to count to 3. If I hit 3, I'm going inside without you.
Yeah.
And so I was like, 1. She looks at me. She goes, 2. Girl, friend, I walked my ass into that house so fast. I was like, all right, bye. And I went inside and I like deloused all the stuff that I was holding. And then I went back inside and she's standing by the box, like pouting, just freaking pouting. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, it's warm outside. I'm like, no crap. Get inside. Oh my God. Yeah. So that was a fun moment. I do have a quick story that Matt gave me a story to tell on his behalf. So we scheduled her first like official dentist appointment on was it a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And so I created like the calendar event and I was going to be out of town for a work event. And I was like, are you sure you don't want me to reschedule? Like I can wait until I'm back in town just for ease of all of the things. Cause it's just stressful when you're single parent ops. And he's like, nope, got it. And so I sent him like the address was on this calendar invite, the timing, like everything was. He's like, got it. And he woke up, he was ready to go. He got her ready and he was out the door. He shows up to where we get our teeth cleaned and he's like, hey, I'm here for the appointment. And they're like, well, how old is Olivia? And she's like, well, she's 2. Oh no, our pediatric place is just down the road, like 2 miles. So you just have to go down there. He's like, okay. And he got Liv hyped for this appointment, right? Yeah. He's like, yeah, dentist, like you're going to get your teeth cleaned. You know, you have to do that. And so he goes to the pediatric place and he's like, hey, Livia has a dentist appointment at 8:00. Like, we're here. They're like, what's her name? And he's like, Olivia. What's her date of birth? You know, he says all the stuff. And like, we don't have an appointment for her. And so, and I'm like, I believe I'm traveling this day. I forget. I think I was traveling home. So I was like in between flights, whatever. And he was like, well, where's her appointment? And I was like, no, that's the wrong company. Like, it's not that place. Like, it was a completely different place. And he's like, well, I can't make it. So he had to cancel the place. I felt so bad. But like, yeah, so he had the time right. He just did not have the location right. And, you know, he just was like, what the heck, you know? And then he had to tell Liv, okay, we're not going to the dentist today. And then she threw a fit. And then like, all right, time to go to school. So yeah, that was just a little parent fail on his behalf.
That's so funny. That's awesome.
Yeah, but
we all have them.
We do. We all have them. All right, Kristen. So after all those stories, what kind of tantrums do you have? And I know some we already shared, but let's just say this past week, did you have any crazy tantrums?
I'm gonna say no. I got like a cute little moment.
Oh.
So I was sitting on the floor with Penny, and I was sitting like Indian style, right?
Yeah.
And Braxton like comes up and just plops down in my lap, and like the way he was like sitting, it made me like hold him like how he was when he was like a little baby.
Stop.
So, oh my God, I was like, I used to hold like you like this when, and he just like stares at me. I was like, you're so freaking cute.
Stop it. Oh my God, what a gem.
Cuddly moment.
What a gem.
I mean, he took, Penny's thunder away, but it's fine.
I think Penny will survive. Penny will be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have too many crazy tantrums. Matt's going to listen to this and be like, yes, we did.
Yeah.
We had kind of a WrestleMania moment where we were...
Told you she wants to be WWE.
She does. She's destined to be a professional wrestler.
Path.
Yeah, I'll have to remind her of that when she's picking where to go for college or none training facility. Yeah. But so we were trying to transition into like pajamas. It's always an event. Always an event. And it's like, all right, like I said, she wears pull-ups at night. It's like, okay, we need to take your clothes off, take your day's clothes off. She's like, no. So we're like wrestling her, like to get the clothes off. She's like, no, being no. I was like, I'm proud of you for saying that, but right now, like, we got to get you out of these clothes. And so you're like, yes, but not in the situation.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
So like we get her wiped down, and then it's like, all right, time to put on the pajamas. And she's running around. She's cracking up, thinking this is hilarious. And we're like, bedtime's approaching because, routine people. And we're like, we need to go to bed. Also, you're about to throw a fit because we know you're overtired. And it's a fine line. And so I finally got her, and I was like, you put this pull-up on, and I'm like spreading the leg hole as wide as I can so she can just kick through it, and she was not having it. So like I had to pin her down, not in an aggressive way, everyone, but firm enough to hold her in position and like push her leg through the pull-up, and then like through the shorts and t-shirt and everything. Oh my God, I was exhausted by the end of it. Exhausted. I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm checking out for the night. Like, you can brush teeth, and it's your turn to put her down. Checking out.
Yeah. Oh my God, I know. It is. It's so freaking, like, come on, don't you want to get in comfies? Like, you're so warm and snuggly, and let's just get in them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or like after bath night, she'll be like, oh, I'm cold. Well, no shit. Like, let me dry you off and put you on clothes.
Yeah, exactly.
But we love them.
We do. They are so sweet. All right, everyone, that is a wrap for this episode. We hope you enjoyed the lighthearted stories and had a good laugh. Thank you for joining, and reach out to share your stories or let us know what you want us to talk about.
Absolutely. You guys can all find us on Instagram at Loud Moms Lair Podcast, and you can listen to us on Spotify. Just search Loud Moms Lair channel. And then you can watch us on YouTube at Loud Moms Lair channel as well.
We will see you next week.
Bye.